Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. This is going to be a really quick video, me showing you guys how I get ready in the summertime. This is just my go-to everyday kind of look. I do like a more full coverage look, and then I also have just a like 5-minute out the door kind of look. So if you guys are interested, I can also film those ones, but this is more if I have a little bit more time and want to be a little bit more put together on an everyday basis. So I am actually getting ready for work. I have about 30 minutes before I have to be leaving, so I wanted to kind of show you guys how I get ready and the products that I use in the summertime. So if you're interested, then just go ahead and keep on watching. So first things first, I know you're probably like, what the heck is wrong with her face? Why does she look so like ashy? But I actually have on my sunscreen. So I did just start using the Ordinary sunscreen because Ulta started selling Ordinary online. I don't know if it's in store, at least they're not in store around me, but I did purchase it online and I did use it for the first time today, and it does leave my skin looking a little bit more ashy than my Neutrogena one, and it is just a little bit heavier, but we will see, you know, how I like it. So yeah, if my skin's looking super ashy, that is why. But let's go ahead and move on to the primer. So I'm gonna go in with my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And this will start to get tacky. Then I'm just gonna go in with my CoverFX Blurring Primer and just take that kind of in my T-zone where I have bigger pores, just to really smooth out those areas. And I'm really breaking out along my chin because I'm about to have my period and my skin always breaks out around my chin around this time, so that's always so fun. So I like to go over and kind of smooth over any bumps and stuff over there. Alright, now I'm going to go in with my foundation. I'm going to take the Maybelline Urban Cover Foundation, and I actually do have a wear test. I think that was the last video that I uploaded, and I just have two colors right here because I've tried as many colors like in the range that I would be, and none of them actually like work. But I did notice that it goes from 310 to 340, so maybe there are a couple of colors in between that they don't sell like at the drugstore or at Ulta, because I've gone to Walmart, Ulta, Target, and like it goes from Sun Beige to Cappuccino, I believe is the next one, or I think there's one like in between that, but it was like too orange. I don't remember. All I know is there was like a big jump, so there might be other colors that might match me better that I have to get like from Maybelline online, but right now I just kind of use these two because I don't have time for all of that right now. So I'm gonna go in. I use more Sun Beige than the other one because I'm a little bit, you know, I'm closer to this tone, but it is just a little bit too light for me. So then I just go in with a little bit of Cappuccino because I do have a little bit of a tan, just a little bit. And now that I look like a painting, let's go ahead and blend this all in. I'm just going to use my Wet n Wild sponge. And also, I don't have any really big breakouts right now, but if I did have any like really big breakouts that needed some like serious coverage, I would go in with a more thicker concealer. I tend to use the MAC Studio Fix Pot Concealer, and I'll just kind of put that on the blemish and then set it with a little bit of powder, a very, very thin layer of powder before I put on my foundation. That way I have a little bit of extra coverage in that area. So if you guys are struggling with like a breakout, I don't have any really big ones. Like I feel like the foundation and the powder will cover what I need to cover right now. So I didn't do that, but if I did have, like this one was freaking ginormous last week, so I was doing that last week when I felt like I really needed some extra coverage with that bad boy. yeah, so as you can see, this is what the foundation looks like. So that mixture of the two colors is really good for me right now, just because I am kind of like in between shadings, because I am going to the pool, I am outside, so I am getting like more and more tan throughout the summer. So I don't want to just buy one shade. I kind of have to mix throughout the summer because my skin tone is always changing. So that is a good tip, just to kind of have like a lighter one and a darker one. That way you can kind of customize your own shade during the summertime as your skin is changing, or like your skin color with your tan and all that. If you tan, I mean, I tan easily, so that's just a struggle that I have. Now I'm gonna go in with this Mega Conceal Caffeine Concealer from Makeup Obsession. This is just a nice like medium coverage concealer. I don't find that I really need like a ton of coverage, so this to me works, and I like how it's like a little bit cooling. I don't really see like anything crazy with the whole caffeine claims, but you know, to each their own. I just feel like it has like a little bit of like a cooler kind of, like a cool as in like temperature wise when it goes onto my skin. I don't know if that's the caffeine claim or whatever. Okay. And I just like this concealer because, not because of the coverage, because like I said, it's a very medium coverage. So if I was going for a more full coverage look, like I would not go for this concealer. But I just like the way that this reflects the light. I just feel like it really kind of like just highlights my face really nicely. So that's why I go for it more on the day-to-day when I don't really have a lot of that I need covered. It just kind of really gives me like a nice light color underneath it just kind of like bounces off the light, or the light bounces off the concealer really nicely. I like it. I think it just looks very natural. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in with my number 7 like loose perfecting powder. I haven't used this in a while actually. I've been using the yellow baking powder from Makeup Obsession, but let's go ahead and go in with this because it was right there and I'm in a rush. I'm just going to use this to set the areas where we put the concealer. Making sure to really press it in. We're not baking, we're just pressing it into so it really holds that makeup in place. That's like the best thing, at least for me. I don't know, baking for me just doesn't really work. I don't know if it's just me. I've tried it so many times and it just always looks super powdery and just like too much. I just like the way that when I push in the powder it looks, so that's what I do. If you want a little bit more coverage, I like to go in with the it's J.Cat Beauty Aquasurance Compact Foundation. This is a foundation that I use just by itself when I want those like 5-minute makeup days, or going on top of a foundation. Really nice. It just gives you a little bit of extra coverage. As you can see when I put it on, I'm just getting a little bit more coverage. So if that foundation isn't enough coverage for you, I say go in with a lighter foundation during the summertime. That way it's not super uncomfortable and like heavy on your skin. And then get a nice fuller coverage powder. That way when you're setting your foundation, you can add a little bit more coverage where you need it. And that way not only are you like setting that foundation in and really reassuring that it's gonna stay, but it's giving you that extra coverage and you don't have to have all that heavy foundation and stuff in the hot heat. So that's just my recommendation for the summertime, and that's what I found works better for me, just because I do have more oily skin in the summer and I need a lot of more powder than I do like liquid. I like to go more powder heavy than liquid heavy in the summertime. I'm gonna take my MAC Studio Fix what did I just call this? It's Max Fix Plus. And I'm just going to kind of get rid of any of that powderiness that we just kind of put on our skin before we go in with more powders. I actually got this trick from Jaclyn Hill's like long lasting makeup tutorial. It's to kind of like layer up your powder and your setting spray. That way it doesn't, you're not waiting until the end when you have a bunch of powder on a bunch of powder on a bunch of powder. You're kind of setting down your powders in between adding more powders, and that's going to really stick on each layer, I guess. So yeah, thanks Jaclyn for that tip. What I've really been loving doing in the summertime is using a shimmery bronzer kind of like all over my face. I just think it gives like a really nice glowy look to the skin, and I don't know why, it just reminds me of like summer. I don't really do this all throughout the year, but I've been doing it lately and liking it. So I'm going to take this NYX California Beamin bronzer. This one is in the shade the golden one, and I really like this shade. The other ones were just a little bit too warm. So I really like how this is a little bit more like brown. And just use this to kind of bronze up. You can even take it onto your chest if you want. Just give your whole body a little bit of shimmer. Make sure it's really blended in. Then I'm just going to go in with this Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Caramel Cutie. I'm going to use this more as like a contour. I don't really use like a contouring shade. I kind of just place this in the same places that we used that shimmery bronzer and kind of just have it be like more of a matte. I don't really know why I do this. I just do. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that powder that we used before to set our eyes. And I'm just going to set underneath that bronze. Because I find I lose a lot of color here. Like it kind of just blends in from the jawline to the bronzer line. So I like to kind of reapply a little bit of powder to kind of define that area, I guess. I don't leave it on for too long. But you see now it just kind of shows like a difference. It's not just bronzer, bronzer, bronzer. I'm just going to go in with this Sephora blush duo, and this one is in the shade Tiger Lily. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and just dust it onto my cheeks. Then I've really been liking this highlighter from, I actually got it from my BoxyCharm, but it's from the brand Steve Laurant, and it's their jelly highlighter in the shade Proseco Please. And it's just a nice like cream highlighter, and I just love the way it looks on my skin tone right now. It's so nice, but still like natural. It's not like over the top, which I like. Just for a little bit more glow. And if you wanted a little bit more extra like of a pop, then you could go in with a powder highlight over it, but I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. I'm just going to use this Fix It Extra Hold Makeup Fixing Spray from Makeup Obsession. And I just put on a lot. Like I drench my face because I want this to really hold, okay? It really holds. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do my brows really quickly. And I kind of been switching up my brow products. So I've kind of been going between these two just because they're my newest brow pencils. So I have the Makeup Obsession Brow Goals that I actually had to purchase online because they don't sell it in Target. Then when I was at Target, I did see this Arches and Halo brand, and they have like all brow like products. So I tried out this brow pencil and I really like it, especially like the color for my brows. So I'm gonna use this one today, and it is in the shade dark brown. So they had a couple of different browns. They had like a neutral brown, I think a light brown, dark brown, ashy brown, I don't know. They had like a couple of different shades of brown. I just went with dark brown. I'm just going to do a quick fill. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Just kind of first defining the top and bottom and then filling it in. That's how I do my brows the quickest. Now I'm just gonna take my Maybelline Brow Precise Volume Fiber Brow thing and just use this to kind of set my brows. And I like this because it gives my brows a little bit of texture, so it makes it look like very natural, which I've been really into because these fibers kind of like define the hairs a little bit, so you can tell like it's brow hair and not like pencil strokes or pomade, you know? I'm here for it. Okay, now I'm gonna prime my eyes really quickly because even though I'm not using a lot of shadow, I still need primer, even if it's just like a swipe of bronzer, because my eyelids will get oily and they will make the bronzer like crease and look terrible. So I always prime my eyelids if I'm putting something on my eyes. It's just a must with the way my eyelids work. And this is the NYX HD Studio Primer, and I really like it. It's very comparable. It's like the only other primer other than the NARS one that actually works for me in the summertime. So I'm so here for it because it's so much cheaper. But, you know, NARS has always been like my holy grail go-to, so I have a special place in my heart for it. But I just, you know, obviously the next one is a lot less expensive, so, you know, I'm here for it. Now I'm just going to take this JH30 brush from Morphe. It's just a big, fluffy blending brush. And then just take that Caramel Cutie bronzer and just run that through my crease, just for a little bit of color. Just something on my lids, you know, so they're not so plain. So you see the difference? Now I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply mascara, and we're pretty much done. Just gonna apply my Essence Volume Mascara. Just like literally one of my favorite all-time mascaras. This is a brand new one, so it is a little bit more liquidy. Like, it has a lot of product. I like it when it dries out a little bit more. That way you don't get as much like clumping like it did over here. I forgot to scrape off the brush, so oops. Because when it doesn't have as much product, or the product's a little bit drier, it just really separates and lengthens your lashes. Like, look at it. And this one over here is a mess. And I kind of let it dry a little bit. I'll take a little bit of a highlighter. You can use that same one we used. This one's just already here. This is the J.Cat Beauty Twilight highlighter. One of my all-time favorites. And then also just take a little bit of that bronzer under the eye for a little bit of definition. And I feel like I should put some mascara on my under eyes, but I also I'll put a little bit. Now I'm gonna re-curl like so. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'll just take like a little bit of a gloss. I'll take this one. This one also came in my BoxyCharm. This is the Dominate Cosmetics Lemonade Lip Gloss. This one is in Strawberry Lemonade, and I think it's really pretty. Like, it's not super pink, but it does give you just a little nice like pink tint on the lips. Because I'm not a big fan of pink like lips on myself, so this is like a nice, it's like sheer enough where I would like feel comfortable, you know? So yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is like my everyday go-to kind of makeup look, just for a nice like natural, not very natural, but like my kind of mid coverage kind of look. So this is kind of what I go for every day, because I feel like I have enough coverage, but I'm also not like have so much product on my face where I feel like I'm like just drowning in product, and when I hit the heat it's just gonna all melt off. I feel like I'm really locked in there. I have enough coverage and it's very comfortable. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you got any tips or tricks or anything out of it, then that is good. That is what I wanted for you guys. Let me know if you want to see my fuller coverage kind of summer routine and my like 5-minute summer routine when I'm really in a rush to go to work. So yeah, give it a thumbs up if you liked this video. Let me know down below if you want to see those other videos or any other video that you can think of. And make sure to subscribe if you liked this video so that you can see all my other content that's coming. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time here with me, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.